Hey, welcome back. It is good to see you. Well, Miss Amberlynn has uploaded a new video. I know, I'm shocked too. This one seems a little interesting. So, also I'm trying a little bit different setup. I bet that light's a little annoying on the top edge of the camera there. Let me turn that off. Oh goodness. Kind of in the shadows there, aren't I? I guess we'll try that. We're working on a little bit different of a setup again. But, so, our girl, I guess, is answering questions that she had sent to her via Instagram. And this video is titled, How She Proposed, Wifey Taking Down Subreddits? And beginning a foster care experience. So raw, episode 1. First, I want to point out that she's calling her wifey. Whenever she said to not call her that. I had heard some little rumblings here and there of some Amberlynn subreddits being taken down. I don't really know anything about that, but I guess also, are we getting confirmation here that she and Jade are engaged? And she's finally gonna tell us a little bit about her foster care experience, and she's gonna be so raw, you guys, just so raw. I guess let's hop on in.
Hey guys. So welcome to So Raw. So this is a new segment.
This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck. Well, at least she can make fun of herself. And she's already laughing at the beginning of it, so.
I don't know. It's like a wannabe podcast, but it's like not a podcast. It's like a podcast.
A wannabe podcast, but not a podcast. You're just making a video. You're doing the same shit you've always done. You're just answering some questions that people have asked you on Instagram. Or a community tab. Or telling them. Or wherever the else fuck people have asked you questions over the last 10 years.
If you bought it on Wish. So the reason why I chose So Raw.
A podcast if you bought it on Wish.
As the title is because of this video clip. This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck. This is one of my most...
I've forgotten about that. This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck.
Famous quotes. You guys have quoted me for years now on YouTube, and that's one of the ones that is a popular one, or obviously situation type deal, or the fact that I say moments a lot, and books is good for the brain, which is honestly one of my favorites, or mental things is scary, just some other ones to throw in there. But so raw. This content is going to be so raw. This is me spilling tea I've never spilled before. It's just like random topics, advice, questions, opinions, my take on things.
So I have a new monitor, and it's a little bit bigger than my other one, just by a couple of inches. So Amber's a little bigger in front of me, and I don't want to be so close. But with the GoPro camera that I'm using now to do some of these recordings, it does a wider view. So you're seeing much more and further, which, I mean, it's fine if you see me further away, but you're seeing much more of me than I care to have seen.
Like news, literally everything and anything. So if you want to give me topics to talk about, go to my Instagram. I do have a new Instagram username. I know a lot of people thought that I just disappeared off a line, thought that I deleted my Instagram. I did not. I just changed my username. So my username is velvet.and.honey, velvet and honey. So you can go there, DM me. My DMs are open for literally everybody. So why velvet and honey? That is a question that I have gotten recently, and it's just simply for aesthetic. I thought of a few other ones.
Just simply for aesthetic? How is velvet and honey aesthetic?
Blake and honey. I just love the word honey. It's just like an aesthetic word. It's pretty. I don't know if you
It's an aesthetic word. It's pretty. Whatever, Amberlynn.
guys know the song, but I like my girls like I like my honey, you know, sweet, selfish. So I love that song. But yeah, no rhyme and reason, simply just aesthetic reasons. So the first thing we're gonna get into is, how did your ex propose to you? So I do want to say that.
Oh, so it's about Becky proposing.
During my time doing So Raw, I will be talking about my past experiences. I am a human being with experiences, as is everyone, and I don't want to shy away from things that I've been through just because someone else was involved. That's silly. That's not only silencing me, but it's taking away my human experience.
Stop silencing her, guys. It's not like she has a platform where she can say whatever the hell she wants. She's always being silenced.
So I don't care who is involved. I'm not shading anyone. I'm just talking about an experience where I was engaged. I've actually been engaged twice. The first time was when I was 17. So I don't even know if that really counts. We can maybe talk about that some other time. Just about almost 2 years ago, I was engaged, and I kind of want to share how I got proposed to, because it's rather unique, if you will. So everyone has dreams of how they want their partner to propose to them. I know I do. I'm very vocal about it as well. I feel like if you have a certain dream, or if you have like a certain ring that you want, or a way that you want to be proposed to, let your partner know. If they do it, that's great. They listen to you.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll never be married, so I'll never be doing any proposing, or vice versa. I mean, I've had 2 people previously ask me to marry them. But it's like, what? I mean, I see why people make this big to-do about it. They want it to be something that can be remembered, because this is the beginning of spending the rest of their lives together, hopefully. And I guess some people might have an idea or a dream of how they want it to be, like whether they want it to be like outside in a park or on a beach, or I don't know, with rose petals leading to a bubble bath. I don't fucking know. But I'm judging by the way she started saying this, and the way she was like, it was unique, it's probably not something that Amberlynn wanted. And it's probably that Amberlynn would have said hints like, oh, I want to be proposed to in X way or in this place. And Becky didn't do that, is my guess.
If they don't, well, that sucks. So I've always been super vocal about how I want it to happen. Like, I want it to be personal. I don't like no public proposals. As sweet and as claiming as that is. Like, you're literally letting everyone know, like, this is my woman. Like, I love that, but I'm also super shy, and I know it's hard.
So you don't want to be at a sporting event and be put up on the big jumbotron.
Hard to believe, but I don't like the attention on me. I actually kind of hate it, which is hard to believe because I am a YouTuber, but I promise your girl does not want no public proposal. Attention. But I do want it to be romantic, like, you know, some petals, some candles.
Oh my God, I was right on the rose petals. Over a dinner of KFC bowls.
Beautiful music. Like, I want to be looking good, maybe right after a date night, or, you know, just like super romantic. I'm talking like so cheesy that we're just both pepper jack cheese, like living our best life. Like, I want cheesy. I want things that you see in stupid romantic movies. Like, that's what I want. But how I was proposed to, I was sitting in the living room. It was about 2 a.m. and I was in a muumuu. I was like actual grandma chic. I had my floral muumuu on, living my best life. Don't think I showered that day. Can't tell you what I was doing. Probably binge watching some YouTube moment. Who knows? And I remember it being January 13th because my partner thought that she wanted to change that day for me because years prior, that's a day that I got broken up on, like where my heart broke. So she wanted to change that day for me into something special, which I get where your mind frame's at. It's a good mind frame, but it's also kind of weird all in the same. Your heart was in a good place, but it was in a place that I don't know. It was just weird. Okay, so I'm in my muumuu, not showered, hair greasy as per usual, and all of a sudden,
I mean, it wasn't like somebody died on that day. It was just you got broken up with. So I could see that being like a, hey, I want to make this a happy day for you getting engaged, instead of, oh, this is the day that so and so broke up with me. Now, if it was like, oh, this is the day somebody important to me died, that would be different.
and like she comes out, like she's also in her pajamas, like just living her best life. We both got the greasy hair, just living our actual separate lives in the same home.
Gotta throw that in, don't you? That we were just roommates, that we were just living our separate lives, but we were living together. Gotta throw that dig in, don't you?
I don't know. There was definitely a disconnect, especially when she walked out of the bedroom with something in her hand, and it was like this clear box, and it was small, and I could tell something was in it, and she just sat down across from me and handed it to me, and I looked at it. You guys, this is embarrassing, but it's like an actual true situation type deal. It was a tiny pink vibrator with a engagement ring wrapped around it. Like, it was like, say this is the vibrator, it was like on it like that. And she looked at me and said, will you have sex with me for the rest of my life?
That's kind of funny. It's clever. It is unique. Apparently it's not Amberlynn's cup of tea. I think that's kind of funny myself.
And I said yes. We hadn't had sex. We had sex one time in the last like 3 years. So it was a definite, I don't know. It was very like disconnected.
Well, sex isn't required for a relationship to be a relationship. There's other ways to be intimate in a relationship. There's other ways to have intimacy in a relationship. It's not always all about the physical. If that is important to Amberlynn and they weren't having it, then, I mean, granted, Amberlynn may have been too self-conscious because she was 219 pounds. She was taking sponge baths in the bed for that year. So maybe that's why.
I don't know, but that's how I was proposed to. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. I thought I shared it before. I thought we actually both shared it before in like a past live stream.
I don't remember.
But maybe not. And I know not everyone sat through those live streams because that was like a whole different era that was like super boring. But the question is answered. And I will say, everything comes from a good heart. I like to believe that. But just because something comes from a good heart doesn't mean it's not awkward. Okay, so here.
Well, Becky is a very sweet person. And I think she was doing what she thought would be unique, fun, funny, and ask you in that way. Apparently it wasn't your cup of tea. Maybe she should have brought some rose petals.
We have an advice column asking Amberlynn, advice with Amberlynn, because I have all the advice. I am very much the type of person.
Why don't you give yourself some advice with your life?
Do as I say, not as I do. The advice that someone needs from me. I'm talking to my teacher on Snapchat. Technically, it's my professor. I had this professor last year, and we were flirty then, and I thought that was it. Until I found out I had them again this semester, and we picked things right back up. This time on Snapchat. I'm 21, and she's 45. Sure, it's unethical, and I didn't find anything too wrong with it until I found out she's married. Help.
For one, it is against most universities' policies for a professor to engage in a relationship with a student while that student is their student. If that student is no longer their student, then they're both consenting adults. But if she's married, you might not want to go down that route.
Yeah. Okay, let's just digest this. 21 and 45, that's a huge age gap, like gigantic. But you both
I'm 43. I can't imagine dating someone that's 21.
Can drink alcohol legally. You guys are both adults. So I'm just gonna digress away from that because I'm not gonna sit here and judge people. As long as you're legal, then I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna step into that territory. I will say it's a little cray-cray, but it sounds a lot like Leonardo DiCaprio moment. But she's your professor. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that not only, like you said, that's unethical, but she can get fired, which I think that she should, because I don't think that students and professors should ever have that type of intimate relationship, because that just gets messy. Especially like it's college, bro. Like if you're falling in love with a student, you're not going to want to grade them bad on their homework, like, or their work or anything like that. I feel like it's just going to be super messy, and they're married. I don't fuck with no cheaters. Like they're actually married. So I think that you honestly, like on a moral basis here, you need to talk to the head of the college, let them know, save those Snapchats.
Well, one is called a dean, but I would just maybe, if I were giving this person the advice, I would say talk to the professor and be like, hey, look, I didn't know you were married. I'm sorry. I can't do that. And change courses. Drop the class, take a different class, change professors for that class, and move on. If you do want to pursue a relationship with this professor, despite this professor being married, wait until after you're no longer in the class with them. Because then you'd both just be adults consenting.
Show them what your professor is doing, because it's not right. It's not okay, because are you the first person they've done this to?
Probably
Is
not.
this something that they do all the time? They choose like their little favorite and they start like grooming them. It becomes rocky territory when you are with someone who has like this higher power over.
It is a little weird, for sure.
Over you, it's rocky, y'all. Like that's literally
power
moral of the story.
dynamic
You need to
difference.
stop talking to them. I'm like acting like your mother. Stop talking to them. I'm gonna take your phone away. No, it's pretty simple. They're married. They're your professor. Go to the authorities. You might think they're fine wine, but they deserve prison time. Okay, not really. So I have been asked a lot to talk about my foster care experience, and honestly, I have tried so hard to like do whole videos dedicated to that, but it would take a lifetime. A lot happened during my whole foster care era, but I feel like to maybe work my way up to talking a little more about it, we'll talk about the first few hours after I was taken from my parents. So I was in elementary school. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I remember getting called into the office. I do want to say before I share the story that a lot there's like holes. It's like Swiss cheese. Okay. So the cheese is the story, the experience, and the memories, but there's like holes. Obviously, I was young, going through traumatic experiences.
Probably have
so I'm only going to be able to share what I
out.
actually remember. There's a lot that I leave out, obviously. So I get called into the office, and there's a police officer there. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And they also called in my brother. So at the time I had two brothers. I had a brother who is a year younger than me. So he was going to the same elementary school as I was. So that's why he was also called into the office. And then I had a baby brother who was about 1 year old, maybe a little younger than that. So me and my brother get put in this cop car. I don't remember many things being explained at that point, but we were put in the cop car. And next I know, we have my little brother. I don't remember how we got him, because I know we didn't go by obviously our home, which was a trailer, rundown, moldy, wholly drug infested, just disgusting trailer. Like that's putting it lightly. Like the dirtiest thing you can imagine that like 20 times more. Wow. Okay. So we're in the cop car, and we have me and my brothers, and next thing you know, we come to this like huge house, and my baby brother's getting taken. It was so sad. I remember a woman with short hair standing at the doorway. Me and my brother were allowed to go and say bye. I was so like confused. I remember a lot of tears. My brother didn't really cry. I think he was more so just like shocked by what was happening. And then they end up taking us to the police station, where I just remember sitting there for hours. And I think they tried to explain to us what was happening, how they're going to take us to a children's shelter, how my baby brother was in like this foster home. I guess the children's shelter didn't take babies. I think like the youngest that they took was maybe like 4 or 5 from what I remember. And I was sitting here like 8 or 9. My brother was a year younger than I was. We're sitting at this police station. I honestly don't know why. And then we get dropped off at this big building where we see like all these random staff. and they're like asking us questions. Like there's so many questions and so much paperwork. I'm like, me and my brother are young. Why are you asking us? Like it was just so traumatic. Like we just got.
So hearing part of the story makes me see more of the importance of a program that we have here called, I think it's either Project Backpack or Operation Backpack. There's two different programs, but one of them is one where I've mentioned this before on the channel. It's a program where you can donate items, clothing, a stuffed animal, books, to put into backpack, so that when this type of thing happens, when children are taken from their parents and aren't able to go to their home to get clothing or any items or anything, they're given this backpack with some clothes, maybe some snacks, maybe a book, maybe a stuffed animal and like some clothing in it that's theirs. So they have something that is theirs now that they're taking with them. And they don't, I guess, feel so lonely maybe, or like they've lost everything. So hearing Amberlynn's story about, just being taken from the school and taken to the police station and taken to the shelter, they don't have anything with them. And that's got to be scary.
Taken from my parents, and I'm over here like bawling my eyes out. My brother's just like traumatic, like stone cold face. And then they separate us because boy hall and girl hall was obviously separated. Preteens and teens did come together like during the day, but when it came to like showers and like bedrooms, obviously the boys and girls were separated. So when me and my brother were separated, I thought I was never going to see him again. Like I was so scared. But what they did was they had this like sheet, this paper of like someone's body, and I had to, I don't know like what my brother went through. I'm pretty sure he had to go through the same thing. I had to get completely naked in the shower. They had to look all over my body. They had to write down if I had any marks anywhere, etc., etc. And now that I think about it now, it seems very weird. I feel like,
well, it sounds like they were looking for signs of abuse, or if your parents were doing drugs and like shooting up, maybe looking to make sure they weren't forcibly, injecting you with intravenous drugs. But it seems like we just were really looking for signs of abuse, any bruising, any markings, anything like that.
As the woman that I am now, I would have declined. But I feel like if I would have declined, I would have gotten in trouble, because while living in the children's shelter, like you have to do everything that you're told to do. They had like a point system, and you got points for doing what they told you to do. And then if you declined, you got like negative points, which put you in a negative, like you didn't get to do like games or go on outings and stuff like that. It was like a P+, P- system. Privilege plus means that you got the right amount of points that day and you got to do all the good things. P- means your privilege negative, which means you don't get to do the fun stuff or anything like that, which every day.
That seems messed up for a children's shelter. You've already been taken away from your family. Let's punish you for maybe acting out when you're in this crazy situation. That seems so weird.
We lived our life based off of these points. Like that's what we were as human beings, was just point system. So after they checked my body and all that, I had to shower. They found that I had head lice. Obviously I had head lice. I had head lice for a majority of my childhood, until I went to the children's shelter and they did the craziest like thing to my hair that I have not had. I have stutters. I have not had head lice since then. And when I tell you my parents tried to get rid of my head lice multiple times and it never worked, I haven't had it since then. So whatever they did, it worked. Love that for them.
Well, because they may have gotten it out of your hair, but it may have still been in like pillowcases or on clothing or something.
So after I, took the shower, they did the head lice treatment. It was actually dinner time by that point, and that's when I got to meet all of the other kids. And that is when I got to meet the preteens, which was 12 and under. And then once you reached 13, you got to go with the teens. And I think that's where we're going to end it there. So it was just traumatic. I was confused. It wasn't
I bet. I mean, that's gotta be just an awful experience.
until later on, like a few days later, where I started to understand what was really happening. But we can maybe talk about that some other time. But yeah, that was the first few hours, things that I actually remember. Do I still like Trisha Paytas, and what is my current
Trisha Pastas. I love that typo.
opinions on her now? So I don't know if you guys know, but I used to be Trisha Paytas stan. Like, I was obsessed with her. I bought all her books, all her, anything that she was selling and doing, I would watch, I would read, I would get, I would buy. I don't know what it was, but I was like obsessed. Then Frenemies happened. When I tell you Frenemies was one of the most entertaining things that I have ever seen, I'm not joking. Frenemies, iconic, like so iconic, but it made me see Trisha Paytas in a completely
I know so little about Trisha Paytas that I don't know what Frenemies is.
different light. The things that she would do, the things that she would say, the things that she would lie about, the gaslighting, the way that she treated Ethan, I completely changed my opinion about her. I don't think that she is a good, genuine person, and that's just how I feel based on Frenemies. After Frenemies, I completely stopped watching Trisha Paytas. I am no longer subscribed to her. I don't watch her. I do know that she's pregnant, and obviously I wish nothing but health for her and her family and her baby. I'm really happy for her because I know that having children has always been hard for her, and the fact that she found someone who loves her unconditionally, or I'd like to hope so. That's hard for me to say because I know that she has abused him physically, and I'm pretty sure mentally and emotionally as well. It's just hard for me to I don't know, just after everything that has happened, it's hard. Like, Frenemies brought out her true colors, in my opinion, and I thought Frenemies was going to help people see her in a better light, but I feel like it obviously did the opposite effect. I feel like Trisha Paytas gets away with literally everything bad and disgusting and racist and homophobic, mental illness shaming, body shaming. She gets away with everything. And I am not going to support someone who makes me feel like just kind of.
But you would support Chantal, who's also done all of these things.
In a bad headspace. Like, she has said so many things that has actually made me angry that I can't do it anymore. I try not to like talk about it because like I don't want her, because I know that she has watched me in the past. Highly doubt I'm on her mind anymore. I don't want her to take my opinions and like I don't know. I don't like expressing when I don't like someone. I personally feel bad for it. I feel guilty.
Unless you're on your Instagram saying things about reaction channels.
I feel like I should be sorry I don't like you. Oh my God, do you need me to like buy you a meal? Do you want me to buy you a new purse? Like, I am that type of person. I feel bad when I dislike people. I like to give people benefit of the doubt, but I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry. So next segment is random fact of the day. I personally love random facts. I have this cute little book. It is true facts that sound like bullshit. I love bullshit. So I have already told you in a past video the first fact on here, which was hippopotamus sweat is pink. Excuse me, ma'am. Like, okay, crazy. So the next one is kangaroos perform adoptions. Okay. Humans aren't the only species to perform adoptions. Kangaroos have been known to accidentally abandon their young, only to have them raised by other kangaroos. Sometimes
accidentally. Whoops, I lost my Joey. I guess Brenda's raising him now.
Kangaroos even voluntarily swap babies.
Lots of animals will raise offspring that aren't theirs. If they've lost theirs or just didn't have one. Lots of animals do that.
Can you imagine swapping your baby? You're like, actually, I'd rather have that baby female with brown eyes over male with blue eyes. So can we swap? Can you imagine? Ma'am, kangaroos, love your young. Okay, you guys, we can't have a So Raw wannabe podcast from wish.com without some rumors. So this first rumor is Amberlynn is suing her city for the fall. So I don't and won't be talking about my ankle or anything to do with that, whether it's healing or it's not healing, how I'm doing, what appointments I have. We ain't doing it here. But there is a rumor that I am suing the city I live in because I fell. Is that even a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing. So no, Amberlynn is not suing the city for falling.
Rarity.
There is a cat. Hi. Oh, you babies. I gotta go talk talk to my lawyer because I'm suing the city. Are you gonna come with me? You coming with?
Lawyer
We're gonna
cat.
go make that money. Y'all, I'm not suing the city. Even Rarity's like, y'all, this is so dumb. Like, what do you mean? No, I have no reason to sue the city. I was not paying attention. I was walking, vlogging, you know, living my best life. Foot went in a whole situation type deal. That has nothing to do with the city and everything to do with me. I don't sue people. I've never sewn people.
Rarity wants some attention.
I've never sued. I've never sued someone. I won't sue someone unless you're mean to my cat. I'm gonna sue you for animal abuse. So yeah, off the table, y'all. Didn't happen, won't happen. The rumors y'all come up with, huh? So the second rumor, of course, there's another rumor. I was gonna try to do just one rumor per So Raw, but there's another one that's going kind of hot right now. Amberlynn and or Wifey got the subreddits taken down. You guys, I have been on Reddit maybe 3 times my whole life. Once was to read something about me. The 2 other times was to look up the hashtag 1500 is enough or is plenty. I don't even remember, which is like people who just eat 1500 calories and they like talk about it or whatever. And my friend told me about it. So I looked it up and I was like super obsessed. So I spent like 2 hours one day, just like never went on there again. Maybe one other time. But I've only ever went on subreddit, my subreddit like once. So no, wasn't me, wasn't Wifey. I could fucking care less. The fact that this continuously happens where you guys come at me for a subreddit being taken down about me when I had nothing to do with it goes to show that you are bullying. What you are doing in that subreddit is not okay. It is harassment. It is doxing. It is bullying. It is gross. It is clearly not allowed on reddit.com.
I have only looked at maybe 1 or 2 things in any Amberlynn subreddit. So I don't know. Sorry if you heard my phone just go off. So I don't know what subreddits have been taken down. I don't know if I've seen things that have been bullying whenever I've seen things occasionally. I don't know.
Same goes with Kiwi Farms. That has been taken down. Why?
Has it?
Well, I looked it up, and it's because it is actual bullying.
Now, I've never been on Kiwi Farms, but from what I've heard of it, people do some nasty shit on there. They dox people. They just talk some horrible shit. I've never been on the site, so I can't personally say one way or the other, but wow.
Can hurt people. There is doxing. It is harassment. Like, are you guys delusional? Are you delusional? So no, it wasn't me. It wasn't Wifey. It was a higher power. Okay, I'm not talking about God.
It was a higher power. Oh. It was somebody else. That's all you need to say. Somebody else.
Or the universe or freaking Buddha. I'm just talking about it's higher. It's someone bigger. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. So maybe you should look at your actions. So next segment is called bad choices because you know we've all had them. We all make bad choices. So I figured per episode I would answer 3 of these bad choices. I do have some other cards in here. We have a truth or drink card, and we also have these 141 outrageous questions, conversation starters, but we're just gonna stick with the bad choices. I think that this could be fun. It could add a little oomph because some of these questions, y'all, like the ones I'm seeing now, I don't know. Am I actually gonna answer these? All right, so I'm just gonna choose like a random 3. So 1.
Did that one say not safe for work?
What we're doing here. 2 and 3. Okay. Have you ever played strip poker? I actually never have played strip poker, and I don't think I ever will. I don't like my body. I don't want anyone seeing my body. Would you pose as a nude model for an art class? Again, don't like my body. I don't want people seeing my body.
Probably not.
But I will say I would love to see someone my size do that because every time I've ever seen like nude modeling for art, it's always like someone who's just like beautifully sculpted. I think we need to see someone a little more like me next time. Last one. Have you given out a fake phone number in the past year? I have not, but I actually recently was telling Wifey about a story when I was in high school.
Wifey. Oh, you calling her Wifey now?
There was this guy. Okay, so I grew up a large portion of my life in Petaluma, California, and everyone knows everyone. You see people all the time that you know, that you've seen before. So there was this guy that I ran into 3 different times at 3 different locations. And the first time he was like, I remember, I gave him the Jenny Craig number. Yes, I did. Then I saw him again
That's
at the
funny.
Kmart in the makeup aisle. And it was like a couple weeks later, and he was like, the number like wasn't the right one. And I was like, no, I promise it was. And then I ended up just giving him my number, but I switched one number at the end. And then I saw him for a third time, and I said, I don't know. I guess just the numbers aren't working. And he like actually believed it. So he was like, do you have a MySpace? Because back then it was MySpace. And I was like,
MySpace
no,
was big
I actually
back
don't.
then.
I feel bad telling people I'm like not interested in you. So I think that's the only time that I have ever given someone the wrong number before, because 9 times out of 10 it's like, okay, if you want my number, I'll give it, why not? But this person, like, bad vibes, like gave me such bad vibes. Like you could tell that he was the type of guy who asked anyone with 2 legs and a hole for their number, and I was not in it. So that is actually the end of the first episode of So Raw. I don't know. Is this something you guys enjoyed? I know I enjoyed it, so I will be continuing. It is actually going to be every single Tuesday. You guys are going to get one of these, I'm pretty sure. Not sure what time on Tuesday, because I might want to film these on the day of or the day prior, so I'm not sure like what time, but it will be Tuesday. And as for the rest of my content, up in the air.
Yeah, are we getting anything else or just one video a week?
Currently, we're gonna figure it out. Might be a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little sprinkle of this, a little sprinkle of that. But for Tuesdays, we are set for So Raw.
We're so raw on Tuesdays.
This video's so raw, you guys. Fuck. This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck.
All right. Well, that is that. What do you all think of Amberlynn's first issue? First episode of So Raw. I don't know, the foster care story is really sad. I really feel bad for kiddo Amberlynn and her brothers having to go through that. I find it interesting she's calling her girlfriend wifey in this video. But yeah, I don't. Interesting rumors. I'd heard one of them. I hadn't heard about the suing the city. But let me know what you think down below. And until next time, be safe and take care.